Okay, today you have Q&A. On your 200 Q&A, number 1, your proper names are Harmond, Marcia, Stan Darwin, Clear Lake, Michael, and San Jose. This is 200 Q&A, number 1 for 5 minutes. Ready? Can you tell me where that took place?
It was at a counseling center in Harmond.
How many meetings did you have with the marriage counselor?
I don't know. It seemed like a lot.
Would you say you met with him or her more than 10 times?
That sounds about right.
Could there have been more sessions than 10?
I don't think so.
Were these counseling sessions with both you and your wife present?
Yes.
Did you ever see the counselor by yourself without your wife present?
Just one time before we began the joint sessions.
Do you know if Marcia had any sessions by herself?
I'm not sure. I think we each had one first by ourselves, and then after that it was both of us.
What is the name of the marriage counselor you saw?
His name is Stan Darwin.
Did he make any recommendations to you as to how to improve the relationship between you and Marcia?
We did a lot of work with him. There was homework too.
After the marriage counseling ended, did Marcia return to live at home with you?
No, but we started seeing each other again.
Did she return to live in the house with you?
Only on the weekends.
For how long a period of time did Marcia return home on the weekends?
Whenever she felt like it, she would show up.
I'm wondering how many weekends the two of you spent together while she was no longer living in the home.
I don't know how many. It was just whenever she wanted to.
Well, I am entitled to your best estimate. Do you feel it was 100 weekends?
Yes, a couple years of weekends only.
When Marcia was with you on the weekends, would she stay overnight?
Yes, she would usually get there Friday night and stay through Sunday morning.
Did the two of you go out and socialize together when she visited on the weekends?
Yes, we did.
Can you give me an example of the sort of thing you two did together during that period of time?
We went out to dinner together a lot. I bought a hot tub and we spent many evenings in the hot tub in the backyard.
At what point did these weekends together come to an end?
They stopped after she had a medical problem.
What kind of medical problem did she have?
She never said. She just said she couldn't see me anymore.
Can you please give me an approximate date or year that Marcia stopped spending weekends at the house with you?
It was in 2010 or 2011 that she stopped coming over to the house.
In the 10-year period between 2001 and 2011, Marcia would spend weekends with you from time to time, correct?
Yes.
Where was she living during that period of time?
She had moved to Clear Lake and rented a place there.
Did Marcia have a key to your house during the period she would occasionally spend weekends with you?
Yes, she had a key to the house and to both the cars.
So anytime she wanted to, she could come over and let herself in?
Yes.
Did the two of you have an agreement that she would share the cost of the mortgage and the property taxes on the house?
Yes, we did.
When had the two of you reached that agreement?
It was right after she had started coming over on weekends. I asked her how I was supposed to keep the house going and what should we do.
Is that when she agreed to help with the house payments?
Yes.
Was that something you had documented?
No, just a verbal agreement.
That would have been a month or so of her going to the retreat, is that right?
It was later than that.
How much later than that would you say it was?
It was more like 3 or 4 months later.
Did you and Marcia ever discuss the divorce she filed that you never responded to?
No, we did not.
There was never any discussion about the divorce?
Only that I asked her if she was going to divorce me, and she said she wasn't.
Can you put that into some kind of a timeline for me?
No, I can't. I don't remember when it was.
Was anyone else present when you asked her if she was going to divorce you?
No.
To the best of your recollection, the marriage counseling went on for at least 10 visits. Is that right?
Yes.
Was your son Michael living with you during that period of time that you and Marcia were seeing a marriage counselor?
Yes, he was.
Is your son currently living at home with you?
No, he has an apartment in San Jose.
Was he the only child living in your house at that time?
No.
How many children were living in the home with you during that time?
Both of my sons were living with me.
Are these children from your marriage to Marcia?
No, they're from a previous relationship.
It's your testimony that your son Michael would know the number of times that Marcia stayed at the house with you on weekends between 2001 and 2011. Is that right?
Not the number of times, but he knew we were seeing each other on the weekends. He was there.
Do you have the contact information for your son Michael?
Not with me. I can get it for you.
How old is your son Michael now?
Let me think. He's 29.
During the period of time that Marcia was spending some of her weekends with you at your home, did you and she take vacations together?
No, we didn't.
Did you invite her to social functions you went to during that time period?
We went out to movies and dinners together. I didn't have many work-related social things that I could take her to.
During that same period of time, okay, on your 200 Q&A number 2, you have Academy, Grants Gym, Flexion, YMCA, and Icarian. This is 200 Q&A number 2 for 5 minutes. Ready? Starting in September of last year, according to your answers, you began school at the Academy. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
During that time and up until this incident in October of this year, were you commuting to school or do you use public transportation?
I had to drive. There's no public transport of any kind that goes out to the academy.
Before the incident in October of this year, did you have any injuries from a slip and fall accident?
No,
Have you been in any auto accidents?
just one very minor fender bender about 5 years ago.
Did that result in any injuries to your body?
No, it was very minor.
Have you ever filed any worker comp claims?
No, I never have.
Other than this one we are here for today, have you ever been involved in any other lawsuits?
No, I haven't.
In high school, did you participate in any sports?
I played football for a little while and I started one season of baseball, but that was it.
How many years of high school did you play football?
I played for 1 year.
Do you remember what grade you were in when you were on the team?
It was during my sophomore year.
Did you finish the entire season the year you played?
Yes, I did.
Did you take it up again in your junior year of high school?
No, I didn't. Just my sophomore year.
What made you decide to not continue playing football?
I got a job and that just took up a lot of my time.
Did you sustain any injuries when you played football that one season?
No, I didn't.
All right. Now, you said you also played some baseball. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you on the high school team?
Yes, I was.
How many years did you play on the baseball team?
I did that for 2 years.
Which 2 years did you play baseball?
My junior and senior year.
Did you sustain any injuries while playing baseball?
No, I didn't.
All right. In the college you went to, did you play any sports there?
No, I didn't.
Any particular reason you chose not to?
I just didn't have the time.
All right. Now, before Grants Gym, had you ever been a member of any other club or gym?
Yes.
At what age did you first join a gym?
I was 15 when I first started working out.
Do you remember the name of the first gym you joined?
It was Flexion.
All right. Since the age of 15, have you been a regular member of a club or gym?
Yes, I have.
How many years were you a member at Flexion?
I worked out there until I was 17.
And then where did you go?
Then I joined the YMCA.
How many years did you keep your membership at the YMCA?
Not too long, maybe a year at the most.
All right. How did you happen to join Grants Gym?
My sister was a member and she told me to come and check it out.
And you began working out there in May of last year, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you been a member of Grants Gym up until the time of this incident?
Yes.
All right. Are you familiar with the name Icarian?
Yes, I am.
Were you familiar with that brand before you joined Grants Gym?
Yes, I was.
Icarian is the brand name of a piece of equipment used at the gym, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you ever been in one of the lifting competitions?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever been in any bodybuilding contests?
No, I haven't.
Do you have any interest in bodybuilding competition?
No, not really.
Why are you not interested in bodybuilding competition?
Because they are the top 1% of the 1%.
Was that something you were trying to work towards?
I have thought about it over the years, but it's very difficult.
As a part of your weightlifting, did you ever sustain any injuries before the one we're here for today?
I had a problem with my left knee, but it wasn't serious.
What was the problem with your left knee?
I don't know. It just used to hurt a lot on some days.
Did you ever see a doctor for the pain in your left knee?
Yes.
What did he or she recommend you do?
They never found anything wrong with my knee.
Do you recall what kind of treatment, if any, was given to you for the knee?
They just told me to ice it when it hurt.
Before joining Grant's Gym, did you ever sustain any head injuries?
No.
Have you ever bumped your head or been bumped on the head?
No.
All right. After you joined the gym in May of last year, how often did you go there to work out?
I was there between 5 and 7 days a week.
Did you use the Icarian during every one of your workouts at the gym?
Yes, I did.
What did you use the Icarian for?
I used it to strengthen my back.
Before your injury at Grant's Gym, did you have problems with the cable on that particular machine?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever see the machine being repaired while you were at the gym?
No, I didn't.
All right. Can you describe how you use the machine? I take it there is a seat that you sit on, isn't there?
Yes, there's a seat below the bar.
Can you point that out to me in this photo I am showing you?
This is the seat, and this is where you put your legs so you aren't pulled out of the seat.
So the bar we are seeing in the lower right of this photo is below your knees, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And? Okay, this is your first 180 Q&A. Your words are 25 caliber, Scotch tape, AFS, Automated Firearms System, Department of Justice, DOJ, People's 6, DK 31243, Inglewood PD, Inglewood, Hawthorne PD, Los Angeles County. And I put, no, I'll fix it. I put Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County. Okay, this is your 180 Q&A number 1 for 5 minutes. Ready? What's that?
It should be another magazine to this particular handgun and 13 loose rounds, 25 caliber rounds.
And this one is more chrome in color?
Yes, but
Okay.
if it's just the same.
I noticed that both of the magazines has what appears to be clear Scotch tape over the end where the bullet is showing. Were they in that condition when you found them in the defendant's house?
No.
What is the purpose of the tape?
That is to keep the bullets inside the magazine and keeps it from firing if it were to get put into the gun accidentally.
Okay. When you saw the gun on the table in the defendant's house and the magazine was in it, did it appear to be loaded and operable to your eye?
Yes.
Now, is there anything on a firearm that, assuming everything is done legally in the manufacturing, differentiates it from any other gun that's out there?
The serial number.
Does every gun that's legitimately manufactured have a serial number on it?
Yes.
What is the purpose of having a serial number?
It's so that it identifies this particular firearm, and then when somebody purchases a firearm, this firearm, along with that serial number, is associated with the person that buys it and legally registered it.
Is there some way to keep track of guns by using their serial numbers?
Yes, there is.
What is that?
It is called the AFS, which is short for Automated Firearms Service System.
How do entries get put into the automated firearms system?
They get put in through several different ways, through different police departments, agencies throughout the state.
What about when somebody goes to a gun shop? Does the waiting period applies for the gun and buys it? Is it entered into a system then?
Yes, that is done through the Department of Justice.
And that is done by the gun shop owner?
It goes through the gun shop owner through DOJ.
Can you tell us what the serial number is on the gun that's People's 6 in this case? First of all, tell us where it is so we could find it if we needed to.
It's along right here.
Is on the left side of the barrel above the trigger area?
Yes.
What is the serial number on this gun?
It is DK31243.
Did you do anything with that serial number after recovering the gun in this case?
Yes. I ran that serial number through my mobile computer in my vehicle, which is linked to AFS.
Is that something you do whenever you recover a firearm?
Yes.
Why were you interested in that information?
That gives you all the history on the handgun.
What information did you receive when you put this gun's serial number into your computer?
The return on this gun, it had been stolen, and it was reported stolen to Inglewood PD. Inglewood or Hawthorne PD, I forget.
Somewhere in Los Angeles County.
Yes.
Do you remember the date that the gun was reported stolen?
Not off the top of my head.
When you put a serial number of a gun into AFS, When you receive a result, does it give you the particulars of that gun, like a .25 caliber or some other type of gun?
It gives you the serial number, the caliber, the make, the barrel length, the color.
Did all of that information that you received from AFS coincide with the gun that you were actually looking at the time?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and place the gun back in the large envelope? I think all the magazines went back in the separate envelope.
Okay.
Thank you. After you observed all the items that we've just been talking about and looking at, what did you do?
We recovered them.
And did you have the opportunity at some point to discuss the items that you found in the house with the defendant?
Yes.
First of all, did you ask him about the gun?
Yes.
When you asked him about the gun, were you already in receipt of the information from AFS that the gun had been reported stolen?
Yes.
What did he tell you about the gun?
He said that he had bought it from someone on the street for $50.
Did he have any opinion about whether it had been stolen or not?
When I asked him, what he thought about it since he bought it on the street for $50, he said, yeah, he figured it was stolen.
Did you also ask him about the marijuana that you observed on the table in the room?
Yes.
And I guess all the other items that were associated with it. What did he say about that?
He just said he was selling a little marijuana on the side to make some extra money.
Now, at any point, did the defendant direct you to any other narcotic items that you hadn't already found?
Yes.
How did that happen?
While talking to him, I believe we asked if he had a car. He said there was a car right out in front of parked along the curb.
Okay, on your 180 Q&A number 2, you have Mr. Reinhardt, Walgreens, 18-wheelers, U.S. Postal Service, Morrison Road, New Orleans East, Clearview Parkway, ATM, Green Street, Green Drive, North Woodlawn, Veterans Boulevard. Okay, here we go, 180 number 2 for 5 minutes. Mr. Reinhardt, what's your position with the Postal Service now?
I'm a driver.
Generally, the hours you work are what?
All different types of schedules. Since I've been there, I've been on every shift that there is.
Right now, what shift are you working?
Right now, I'm on the 4:30 shift in the evening.
Is that 4:30 to 12:30?
It's actually 4:30 until we get finished. There is no specific time to get off.
What was the date? You told me it happened on Friday, but what was the date that this fire happened?
It happened on Friday the 13th.
What were your hours of work on that day?
I believe I was working from either 1 in the evening or 4 in the evening, something resembling that. I don't remember.
And if that was the time that you worked, what time would you normally get finished? I know it varies, but in general.
Well, I've talked to the investigator because I know what time I got off. It was approximately 10 o'clock p.m.
And how were you able to determine that? Is there something you remember, or you checked your time records, or do you know?
Both.
What time did the fire occur?
I believe, to the best of my recollection, I was informed it occurred between 1 and 4 a.m.
In the morning?
Correct.
Would that have been 1 or 4 a.m. on Saturday morning?
On Friday morning.
Okay. And when you informed me about when you were working, you said from 1 p.m. until 10 p.m. Would that have been the times that you worked on the Thursday before the Friday morning fire?
Correct. So that Thursday, correct.
So on Thursday, you went to work at 1, got off at 10?
Or somewhere thereabouts.
Thereabouts. And the fire occurred, as best you can understand from what you've been informed, between 1 and 4 in the morning on Friday.
Correct.
That's if we assume it's 1 o'clock.
Absolutely correct.
And if you got off approximately at 10 o'clock, the fire would have occurred approximately 2 hours after you completed working, based on what you were informed.
If I got off at 10 and it occurred at 1 or 4, that would be more than 2 hours.
It would be 3 hours then, actually. I just want to make sure I understand the time frame. Now, after you left work that Thursday night, what did you do?
I went to Walgreens and then went by my mother's.
At roughly 10 o'clock, were you at the Postal Service facility dropping your truck off?
No, I was finishing up work at that particular moment.
Where were you when you were finishing up work?
What do you mean by that?
Let me ask a different way. When you go to work, I understand that you make deliveries. I assume that you used a truck.
Wait, start over again. I drive 18-wheelers over there.
You drive 18-wheelers for U.S. Postal Service?
Right, that's correct.
Where did you normally park the 18-wheeler when you're done with your work for the day?
Park it at the U.S. Postal Service property.
Where is that?
It's located on Morrison Road.
Out in New Orleans East?
Yes, that's right.
Did you park and secure your 18-wheeler that night, that Thursday night after you finished work?
Yes, I certainly did.
Okay. And that's when you went to Walgreens after you completed that.
No, there's a lot of various details that you do. You just don't get off the truck and walk and go home. There's a lot of the paperwork to be done, a lot of logging to be signed off. You just don't lock your automobile and leave. I mean, it's obvious that you can't just decide to leave and lock up your vehicle and just leave. I'm sure you know better than that. I mean, all the details have to be wrapped up. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. When was it that you completed or you finished doing all of those details? What time was it?
Like I'm saying, it was approximately 1 o'clock.
After you finished doing all those things, you went to Walgreens.
Correct.
Which Walgreens did you go to?
I went to the Walgreens on Clearview Parkway.
Approximately what time did you get to that one?
I think it was around 10:30 or before.
Why did you stop there?
I used the money machine.
Do you mean the ATM machine?
Correct, and to make purchases.
What time do you believe it was when you departed from Walgreens?
Maybe about 10:40, I guess, something like that.
And Walgreens on Clearview Parkway, what is that close to? I'm trying to visualize where it is. How far is that from your home on Green Street?
I guess about approximately a quarter mile.
Now, my understanding though is that you didn't go home that night to your place on Green Drive. You went to your mother's residence located on North Woodlawn, right?
Correct. I went to my mother's residence.
Now, how far is your mom's place from the Walgreens?
I'd say approximately 3-4 miles.
You got to go back and kind of toward Veterans Boulevard to get to North Woodlawn from there, don't you?
Right, that is correct.